I mean, I keep recalling that the plan was pretty straightforward, and then someone kept adding carts.
Yeah, you're
Pretty
right
sure
about that.
misty stuff the whole time.
Mhm.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I'm pretty
Alright.
sure someone said, let's not commit arson before requesting, and I quote, a cart full of explosives.
Welcome to Wicked City. This is a Dungeons & Dragons game of heists and criminal politics where a group of petty thieves race to find the Vault of Dragons and its 1 million gold coins. Our players are Schizofreak as Blinken, the Gnome Ranger, Kirbitha as Huel, the Halfling Bard, Brax as Destry, a human warlock, Vinny as Shazelfrad, the Elf Cleric, and Sean as Inshi, the Goblin Wizard. Last time, the crew waited for the dead of night to execute their heist of the Murkmire Stone. One group invisibly followed the cleaning crew inside, and the rest used Huel's cart as an explosive battering ram to make a new hole for the exit path. But Inchi got trapped in the basement with the curator Alda Arkin and almost died from a mimic attack, while the rest of the crew snuck into the sewers to avoid the city watch.
Kirby, how do you feel about your cart being destroyed, man?
He would feel not betrayed, but like he's like blank, like he doesn't know what he's gonna do. He barely paid it off, you know.
Yeah, you didn't
Hasn't
even get
paid
to
it
really
off.
drive it. You had to drag it everywhere.
He just dragged it around, but more so like a lost, confused, like, oh man, I didn't even pay for it. Like, what am I gonna say, kind of thing. He's not mad it got lost
Okay.
in the
Okay.
scuffle. He's more
So
like worried.
So y'all are walking in the sewers. You're kind of lagging behind, but you have a torch here, keeping the light behind everybody, bringing up the rear. In front of you is Destry and Blinken, the human and the gnome, and they're whispering to each other. Guys, how would y'all be feeling about breaking Kirby's cart? We'll say that Kirby was keeping watch the whole time, so he didn't exactly know what was going on.
Well,
I mean, what I won't tell him won't hurt him.
I mean, I think for me, I didn't want to destroy it, but then we had like really no good plans to do it type of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think the outcome was necessary, but sacrifices had to be made. And like, it's kind of a dire need situation anyway, if this thing is truly like eldritch embryo thing that has to be done.
Okay. And then the three goons are in front of you. Goon 1, Goon 2, and Goon 3. That's how they introduce themselves. They didn't give you their real names. 1 is angry, 2 is sad, and 3 is, I forget what I said for him, kind of nonchalant, I guess. And they are whispering amongst themselves and looking back at y'all. Important question, who is holding the Murkmire Stone?
I think technically Destry.
Sorry, I was talking to my brother. Are you asking about the egg?
Yeah, who's holding the Murkmire egg? Okay,
I
so
haven't
you're still
like-
holding it?
Yeah, I haven't
All right, roll a d12.
D12. 12. That looks good,
12.
right?
Yeah,
That's good, right?
Yeah, everybody. Not only is one of the goons up front holding a torch and Huel in the back holding a torch, but Destry himself has started slightly glowing, and a shimmery film covers you. For the next minute, you have +2 to AC.
That's not necessarily a good thing, seeing how we're trying to hide from people.
I mean, y'all can put the torches out if you want.
But you said I'm gleaming, so I'm shiny.
You're gleaming. But you notice that holding this egg, the effect it has over you changes like once every minute or so.
So, let's skedaddle and get to the professor.
Huel, as y'all are walking east along the sewer lines, Huel, you're thinking about your cart. You saw it get blown up. You didn't know what to do. Something had to be done to get the job done. In the end, it was sacrifice. And you just feel bad about that. And you remember that salesman, the used cart salesman who sold it to you, who made you all these big promises about how good and reliable and how good of a deal he was giving you. He let you buy this on credit. All you had to do was shake his hand and sign a big contract. And he already knew your name and he had the contract set up and everything. It was great. He was so easy to get along with, so easy to make a deal with. And you feel this hand, this comforting hand on your shoulder. And you hear a voice and it says, Huel, my boy, I thought you were going to be a bright boy, the best boy. Something to show Waterdeep what we could be. And here you are, already losing your investments. And I tell myself, what is that? What is to become of this? Huel, the used cart salesman, is hanging onto your shoulder and just walking beside you and he's hunched down low. His feet are splashing in the sewer water so that he can walk with you while turning to look at you. And he's whispering this in your ear. What do you say?
He's got like his eyes closed, but he's like looking up and he's walking. And it was an honest mistake. Stuff happens on the job. I didn't mean for it to happen.
Well, that's the thing about this city, boy. Someone's misfortune is someone else's opportunity. And Blinken and Destry, you hear someone whispering behind you. And Destry, you can swear that voice sounds familiar. It's whispered to you many times. Huel, you hear, Huel, it's your first time and I understand. So I'll tell you what, we can have an ongoing thing where no matter what happens to your cart, I'll bring it back in the same condition it was in. All you have to do is just a little tiny deal. It's going to be the best deal of your life, the best deal you ever made. Just every time I do it, we're going to double the price of the gold. What do you say? 2 gold coins to start off with. And he extends his hand.
He'll open his eyes and kind of like look around. Yeah, he'll take the deal. He'll shake his hand.
No, don't take the deal. Don't take the deal.
He said he shook his hand. Destry, as you turn around, you see your patron. This weird, gangly man in a suit jacket and a tie and a top hat, pencil mustache going across his face. You just know him as Avi, the Avatar. And he is currently shaking hands with your new friend, Huel. And Huel, you know in your heart of hearts that your cart is safe and sound back in its broken condition at the Yawning Portal with its brand new paint job. And he says, that's something about me. That's something I really got to say about myself and that everyone says about me. I always make a good deal. Destry, hey, your uncle, he would like to see you. You don't come down.
No,
it's not good.
No. We're not on business right now. We'll talk later.
Really, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just delivering a message. And frankly, I'm being a lot more nice about it than he's going to be. But I can go. And he turns around.
Doesn't need to know anything.
Okay. He just turns around and he starts walking away into the darkness and he starts humming a little tune as he walks.
He's not bad. He's not a bad guy.
He's a very bad
really
guy.
Nice.
He's a very bad guy. Don't make any more deals. Stop that.
Okay, keep that in mind.
No, don't keep in mind. Just don't. You know that little voice in your head that says when it shows up and goes, "Hey, you should make it." No.
Say no to the voice. I got you.
I'll take note of it, and I'm just gonna probably not say anything. I won't say anything. I just, if I recognize him again, I'm gonna avoid him, type of thing.
Inshi stabilized about an hour ago, so you get to roll a short rest because you've been unconscious this whole time.
Will do.
I believe that's just one of your constitution die plus something that's different for every race. Yeah, your hit die. Just roll one of those and add your constitution.
Okay, so got an 8 on my hit die.
So you've been unconscious for a while and you regain 8 hit points. So you come to with a little burst of energy and you can tell that you are in something that is floating. You feel the weight shift back and forth. You come to very alert. You notice that immediately. You can also tell that there's a bag over your head and your hands are tied. And you can hear this professional, high-class voice say, "Oh, no, everything went wrong. Everything went so wrong. One more day and it would have been enough gold to last years." Okay. And she walks over to you and she picks you up and then she slams you back down into the floor and she says, "Wake up, goblin."
The light.
He says, "Oh no, darling, there's only darkness for you here." And you feel the point of something sharp press against your throat to, what's that called? Esophagus. Something pointy and sharp. And she says, "Where is my Murkmire stone? You know nothing of what you've stepped in. Oh, you came at the worst possible time. All it had to do was go right for one more day, but now you've caught me in the worst position, where both the Castellanters will be breathing down my neck about a break-in, and Xanathar will be breathing down my neck about missing proceeds. You do not know the hells you are about to unleash upon the streets and sewers of Waterdeep. Tell me where the Murkmire stone is, and I can solve everybody's problems."
What's a Murkmire? What's a Castellator? Is Xanathar? I've heard none of this. Please, I'm innocent. And I guess I'll be a deception. And she doesn't snitch. Never has.
Fair enough. Ooh, 18 deception. Very nice. She pulls the bag off your head, and there is a small candle burning in this very small room on what you feel is a very small boat, probably just parked indistinctly somewhere in the dock ward of Waterdeep. You've walked those streets before. There's hundreds and hundreds of these things that fishermen go out on every day to try to catch a dozen or more pounds of fish to bring back to the market. You can smell like the smell of the sea and salt and bird shit and rotting fish. You can smell blood, and you can see faintly this woman in a fancy black dress, and you can see even more faintly this strange human figure that almost looks like a very big doll standing in the corner, and it turns its head to you when the bag comes off. And you see this woman in this elegant black dress is holding your purple bandana that has this yellow gold pattern of an eye on it. The bandana that represents your part of the Xanathar Guild. And she says, well, I know you know who Xanathar is, whatever else you may or may not know. So, start talking. I also know you were at the museum earlier today. You came in with a gnome and a halfling. Someone pointed you out to me earlier today as ruffians that I had let in, and I guessed that they were correct. I will have to thank them.
I don't know. I was begging everybody to let me in. I want to see that fancy museum of yours, and I don't know. I didn't focus on whoever let me in. Sue me, lady.
Says, oh, if only we could do that.
Okay.
And she makes a head motion towards Marigold and says, grab him. And Marigold steps forward, and this big human-sized doll clumps forward to you and just grabs you. No real like noise other than the motion of like its canvas and stick figurine grabbing you, and it starts pulling you and dragging you outside, and it throws you in to the ice cold water. Everybody else, y'all are in the sewers.
I'm just going to go drop the shit off, and then we can worry about finding. Is it kimchi or imchi?
Inshi.
Inchi. Yeah.
All right. So y'all are walking. The goons tell you that they're about halfway there. And then they come to a fork in the road that goes left, right, and forward. And y'all don't know the way to go. And they turn around and they say to you, so we've been talking amongst ourselves here, and we think that we have overperformed, to put it kindly. So we'd like a little bit more from you in terms of payment. This is the angry one who was sniffing silk root powder.
I see. You. Okay. I respect that. Knowing what you're worth, that is a great thing for a person to have. Knowing exactly what they're worth. Now, you see, we can only pay you once we get there. We spent what we had prepping for it. So we have to get there before we can pay you. But keep that in mind, because not only are we going to put in a good word for you, we're going to make sure you get tipped extra from them. And I'm going to ready an action if he does anything stupid. I'm going to Eldritch Blast him in the face.
Okay, so you're readying an action, so you're not rolling a persuasion or deception check.
No,
I'm
I'm saying what I'm saying.
We don't want to go back to Xanathar Guild and have to report to them what's been going on. You guys abandoned one of his men to get captured. I heard you say that this is more important than that. He's going to try to push it a bit. And he says, I'll tell you what, I'm looking at your clothes here, and I think that those alone, Mr. Nobleman, are going to be worth than the 9 gold that we're getting from you for this job. So how about you strip naked? You give us that fancy briefcase of holding you was talking about earlier, and any gold you got on you, and we'll be on our way.
I mean, if you want to let
You
this
wouldn't
thing
want-
hatch and kill all of us, I mean, I guess.
So, yeah, you know, what he said, if,
I mean, if everyone dying is worth 9 gold to you, I mean,
oh, not even. I
Fair
think I
enough.
spent maybe 5 gold on these clothes. And that's after getting it tailored.
And I'm just gonna sigh real loudly and just kind of draw my bow just in case something stupid's gonna happen.
Also, can we at least let him get changed into something once we're there if you're taking his clothes? I don't want to stare at man-ass all day. The sewers are bad enough as it is.
I don't know.
Y'all
I worked
see-
out. I got a nice bump.
Y'all see the sad one that talked to Blinken a lot lean over and say, "Man, weird stuff happens around these guys. I don't want to be around them anymore. Kill them and take everything."
And with that, I fire at the angry one. The fact that killing was even put on the table.
I'm shouting he's coming right for us as soon as he says that.
Self-defense!
All right, we're gonna go to a random battle map here.
And once this attack's going on, I'll talk to this bad guy and be like, we could have went to that gnome place that I was talking about. We could have some coffee and all this shit, and this shit happens, huh? You little shit. Okay.
Yeah, if I didn't die before that happened, man,
Look, asshole, we were
die because of your stupidity.
Yes.
I think I'm gonna live large for a while.
Well, that's just sad, and I emphasize sad.
Like clack goes the Eldritch Blap.
All right, yeah, everybody kind of readied in action here. I'll be using the thug stat for them. One in the middle is blue one is the sad one, purple one is the normal one. Destry, you readied your action first to fire off that Eldritch Blast.
So that's a 16.
Oh man, you didn't hit this common thug. Yeah, you hit him.
That's 7. And I'm purposely like aiming for his face. Or it's just like, you're talking shit, you're getting hit.
All right,
Goodbye,
so
eyebrows.
damage against him. Vinny, I believe you readied in action too, right?
No, I simply shouted he's coming right for us as soon as he mentions killing.
God damn it.
Oh, okay. Blinken, you readied in action, right?
Yeah, I did.
All right, go ahead and fire it off.
So, yeah, I'm ready to draw the bow and fire.
That hits.
I was going to shoot it at the angry guy as well.
All right, how much damage did you do?
7 damage.
All right, so immediately that guy that was talking all that shit, the angry one in the front, looks very much worse for wear. I'm also going to change their health. Their health is way too high. I'm not going to make that mistake again. All right, now everybody roll initiative.
What do you mean roll initiative? We got the first hit and we win. Sun Tzu said so.
No.
There we go.
All right, I got it. So Blinken, you're going to go first. Go ahead and roll your first attack.
Off again to the angry guy.
All right, that hits. 8 damage. Angry guy is now a dead guy. He goes, oh.
And like when I kill him, I'm like, we could have been best friends to the sad guy while I'm looking at him, aiming at him for the next attack.
Ah, shit. The sad guy like steps back. He looks concerned, and he goes, oh man, this is bad. This is bad, man. Come one, come all to this tragic affair. And the other guy, the neutral guy, steps up and goes, you killed my brother. Prepare to die. And he pulls out a dagger.
No latte for you.
Yeah, well,
okay, it's now...
we might have killed your brother, but I am Inigo Montoya, and you killed my father.
Okay, calm down.
Die.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. He has a mace. So he is going to run up to Huel, and he attacks with that 22. Huel, does that hit you?
Does.
It does.
I truly hope so.
Now I would need to roll damage, right? But it doesn't give me that option. All right, it's 1d6 plus 2 regardless. So 3 damage to you, Huel. All right, the sad one's going to go next, and he is attacking Blinken. You can see that he's aiming at you, and then he changes, and he's now aiming at Huel. And he got an 8 for that first one. Does that hit?
8? I don't
8.
think so.
No? Okay, then it sails over your shoulder. That is their turn. Next in the order is Destry. Destry, what would you like to do?
The one who just rushed my little halfling friend here,
Yeah?
gonna Eldritch Blap him.
Eldritch blap him?
Blast him.
Blap him.
Yeah, I'm just
Yes.
like
Damn.
slap him in the face with it.
Yeah, 25 hits.
That's 10.
God damn. That's half of his health.
Keep in mind, you guys can stop whenever you wish. We're just retaliating in self-defense.
Coming right for us as I scream it real loud.
He's coming straight for us. And I, ready to attack again. Oh,
Vinny, it is your turn.
All right. Pull behind here, but like, oh god, he's got a weapon. Look, aim for the throat. And guidance on whoever's in front of me.
That would be Huel.
Well, he gets guidance. Next.
Huel is a halfling. He was standing watch last time because he wasn't here.
I'm gonna go ahead and aim that sad boy. And, first I'll give him a chance. Said you could run away now, or I'm going to shoot you. And I sure want to share a latte with you.
Okay, he'll decide that on his turn. Is that going to be your whole turn? You
Yeah.
can make a roll for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna. I'll do, I guess, persuasion.
23. All right. And he starts backing up, and then he starts running away, and he's going to roll a dex save. He got a 12, so he almost trips over a big hole that leads down, just straight down, but he manages to catch his footing, and he keeps on running away and out of combat. Next, it is the remaining thug's turn. He is going to attack Huel. All right, he rolled a 12. Does that hit?
That hits yeah.
All right, so he did 3 damage to you, and that is his turn. He's like really close. You can see his face. It's really bland. He just looks like a normal guy, just fighting for the only thing he ever believed in. Destry, it is your turn.
I mean, my friend here just gave him the option to run, even though it wasn't necessarily directed at him. So I'm going to see if I can take his head off with this one. That, or I'm going to like cartoon blast him in the face where it's just all like black smoke and soot left over and he just falls back, hopefully. 6 damage.
6 damage. He is still hanging on just a bit. Vinny, it is your turn.
Well, you know what? We're gonna hit him with one of these. Sacred Flame, he's got to make a dex save.
Okay. He rolled a 12.
And he takes 3.
He is hanging on at the very, very edge of his life now. Huel, it is your turn. And I don't think you went last turn, so you have guidance on you for this.
Yeah, I forgot to roll initiative, and then I'm gonna start yapping him for smacking me around. Vicious mockery.
DC 13, right?
Yeah.
He rolled a 13. Yeah, so he just barely saves it. All right, Blinken, your turn.
I don't really like you. You're an asshole. But, given the good grace, if you run away now, I won't kill you.
Intimidation or persuasion?
All right, so it's a 9 for persuasion.
Okay. Oh, he rolled a 17 on his charisma save.
Well, I warned you. That ends my turn.
If I don't fight for this, what was I fighting for? And he rolls another attack on you, Blinken. 11. Blinken.
Yeah, that misses. Yeah.
He goes, ugh! And he falls over.
I told you.
And we're going to say actually he hurt himself on that. He just kind of falls over into the sewers, dead.
That's funny.
You guys can all walk past him.
Out of spite, when we walk by the body, I'm Eldritch blapping it. Just making sure he stays
He
down.
moves over.
I go over to
Self-defense.
I go over and stomp it a few times.
Oh, that's just mean.
I think he's dead.
Look, I did it because I thought I saw a finger move. You're just
I'm
like,
taking Buddy's time bag.
the pleasure palace will not build itself.
Look, you're worried a minute as you're like scooting through it and trying to find it that maybe any of this sewage water got on the silk root powder, but you find it in his pocket, you pull it out. This man tied a really tight bag on this like really thin leather, it'd be waterproof pouch that is clearly meant for holding different types of spices or herbs or powders like this one. You're very familiar with this, Vinny.
Oh, yes, impressive. Man of talents, I'm sure.
You can walk past that big hole that you know is there now because of the other one. And when you get further forward into the sewers, you realize that the sad one is gone. You see that you have come now to a ladder leading upwards.
So, anyways, I suppose we should try and track this guy because he's probably... Well, do we know the way, or was he just taking off to his own direction?
I mean, we have an idea of where to go.
Yeah, y'all walked pretty far east. I'm telling you as a DM that this ladder will get you pretty close to where you need to go.
I mean, she did give us a map as to where her house was, did she not?
No, she just told you where it was. It's in the Sea Ward, on the border between the Sea Ward and the North Ward.
Yeah.
Well,
I have a general idea. I mean,
yeah, let's just pop our head up. I mean, like, we're far enough away from the museum where hopefully nothing should come of this. Hey, wait, I'm from this area. I know exactly where she lives.
You would be familiar with the bar that she lives at.
Yeah, so I'm gonna bring the party there.
It had a name. I want to say what the name is, but...
Will?
Sage's Quill, yes. Thank you very much.
I write notes sometimes.
I just want you to know that notes are for nerds.
All right. You get out at a manhole cover that is right here. Y'all come out in this four-way crossroads. Destry, you recognize that you're about a block away from the North Ward. You know that if you walk down, you'll see this familiar bar built out of very old oak with a thatched roof. It kind of looks like a cottage more than a bar. You know that this is where many professors and many wizards' assistants come to unwind after a long day, or where they come to get some excellent food made while they enjoy their studies. You know that there's a couple of apartments upstairs above this bar. Going back to this boat with Inshi. Inshi, after being held under for 2 minutes and really starting to strain the amount that you can hold your breath, you are pulled back up and you can breathe in that fresh dock ward air. She says, "Tell me who your collaborators are."
Yes, lady. The names are Fiona. I think one was Yvonne, and what was his name? Oh, Benny. Benny. That's it.
Are you even trying to look like you're lying?
As best as I can after being, kind of drowned.
Okay, roll a deception check.
5.
Hell yeah.
She shoves you immediately back under the water, and Marigold, the doll, holds you there for quite a long time, but not as long as you were held before. You feel yourself pulled back up and thrown somewhere on the boat, and you hear another voice, a man's voice, and you hear Alda Arkin go, "Oh, Skylus, Skylus, I thought you'd never make it. Oh, darling, it's so good to see you." And you see one of the guards you saw at the museum earlier. Your character wouldn't know this, Inshi, but this is actually the one that Destry kind of made slip to make a big distraction earlier while he crept into the museum. And he says, "Alda, everything at the museum has been turned upside down. The men are asking questions. The city watches there. The Castellanza Royal Guards are there, as well as the El Torcho Guards. Everything is gone to the hells. What are we to do? Surely they'll notice that we've been cooking the books by now." And Alda says, "Yes, darling, yes. We were supposed to wait until tomorrow. We would have had so much money charging the public to come in and see the Murkmire Stone, but this goblin," and she leans over to you, Inshi, and she kicks you. And since you can't resist in any real way, she is going to do 2 damage to you.
That hurts, lady.
This thing and its crew no doubt scoped out the museum earlier today and plotted to steal the Murkmire Stone and everything else we had. But fortunately, Skylus, I was able to hold on to what we were able to gather. The gemstones, the proceeds that we skimmed off the top. We were going to give them to Xanathar. We can take them and we can run. I just need you to go and get the boat that I know we can escape to Neverwinter on for us. Can you do that, Skylus?" And Skylus goes, "I would do anything for you, Alda." And they kiss deeply and passionately. And Alda wraps a leg around him. She shoves him off and he goes running into the night. And she says, "You know who I'm talking about. Captain Zarzard of the Sea Maidens Fair." And he goes running off. And she says,
Hey,
"Now you, goblin. I'll see what I can sell you for later."
lady, watching that was worse than the drowning.
Inshi, do you want to do anything? Attempt anything at all?
Just wriggle from my restraints, because I think that's all she can think he can do.
All right, go ahead and roll a strength check.
17.
Pretty good.
17? Down. You feel that these things have been tied extremely tightly, incredibly tightly. But with as hard as you're pushing, you feel them give just a little bit. But when you let off that pressure, they tighten again. Maybe if you can push just a bit harder, you could break free.
Shit. Okay, next time I can, I'll try that again.
Alda is walking around. You hear the sound of a cork coming out of a bottle and a glass being filled. You hear someone sit down in a rickety chair or a rickety bench that's built into this small room on the boat. And she says, "Goblin, why are you doing this? Just an agent of chaos fucking up a perfectly good operation."
Yeah, that was his name. The guy who hired me was named Chaos, and he told me to go in, swear at you, steal your gold, steal your big daggers. And that's exactly what happened. He taught me.
Drop the act. You're going to die tonight or be sold into slavery. And I am going to have to go somewhere and adopt a new name and a new face, a new hair. Do you know how much work that is? Tell me why. Why are you doing this?
Well, to be exact, his name was John Chaos, and he's a real man. You can look him up. He hired me. Tell him I'm captured. He'll explain everything, please.
You hear the sound of that bottle uncorking again and a deep sigh. And you also see Destri's raven flying in circles around the boat. All right, going back to everybody else in the Sea Ward, y'all see that there is a light on at this place. One of the apartments is clearly occupied. Someone is walking back and forth up there. The door to the bar is slightly ajar. What do you do?
I mean,
Knock,
yeah.
Knock, knock.
who's there?
All right. As you knock on the door, you hear someone rush from upstairs and say something like, "Oh, God's above, heavens help us. There's so little time left." Destry, roll a d12.
I roll it in
Roll.
a 2.
You roll a d2.
Mm-hmm.
Adrenaline courses through your body. You have advantage on strength saves and strength saving throws. This stone becomes a lot easier to lift as you see the face of Dr. Daniels holding a small blue candle answer the door and say, "Oh, heavens above, thank gods you are here." And she welcomes you into her home, up the stairs, into her apartment. You see the walls are covered in various pages ripped out of books with the words written by hand. You see sketches of stones and different archaeological finds, different architectural structures, different sketchings of pots, a lot of pots actually, different shaped pots, different types of knives and stones used to be specific tools. She has books strewn all about her floor and various chairs all through with dirty dishes with bits of food all over it. But in the center of the room, there is a completely silver piece of a table and four legs extending out from it upward. And it forms like a little, like a four-sided. It's a table where every corner has a pillar sticking straight up. You can see that between each of these pillars is a pane of glass. Carved onto each of the pillars are different types of various runes. And sitting beside the table is a big pot of steaming liquid that is slowly being turned by a spoon animated by magic. This all must have been very expensive to get. You know that Dr. Daniels only had 80 gold coins as her severance package from the university. She probably spent all of it building this capture mechanism for the Murkmire stone. She says, "Quick, quick, quick, give it here before it hatches, before anything worse happens." Destry, do you hand it over?
I'm contemplating it. I'd be lying if I said it hasn't crossed my mind to try to get more out of her. I mean, we did just destroy half the museum. I'm sure, fuck it, and I hand her the stuff.
And it has that same strength effect. And she feels it, and it feels all warm, just like it did to you. And she can see the big crack that's running down the center of it. And she says, "Oh, everyone, gods old and new, help us." And she picks the stone up and she sets it inside that table with the four pillars and the glass panes. And then she takes out a little wand and she taps that cauldron that has that spinning viscous liquid in it. And it picks up and it tilts over and it pours over the Murkmire stone onto the silver table with these runes carved into it. And it fills and it fills and it fills between this glass and pillared enclosure that she has made. And the Murkmire stone starts glowing just a little bit brighter, maybe reacting to the warmth, maybe reacting to all of you, maybe trying to save itself. You don't know, but it's slowly encased in this yellow, waxy fluid that begins to harden, and you realize that it must have been some form of amber or tree sap, and it's now been enclosed in this perfect yellow cube. And she says, "I believe that that's everything that it needs to work. The occult manuals say that if you enclose it in a geometric shape with these runes on it in amber, it cannot grow anymore."
What's your plan?
She says, "Shush, shush, I want to make sure that it actually works." And she stares at her creation in silence for a full minute as that warm green glow inside the stone fades away. And it now just looks like an opaque, green, cloudy stone encased in amber with a giant crack running down the center of it. And she lets out a sigh of relief.
I'm gonna lean over beside her and, like put my head just slightly up to the right a bit and look at the stone and go, nothing's happening.
She says, yes, I wanted to make sure that nothing continued to happen.
So what's your plan?
My plan? There are various artificers that have thought about ways to examine the insides of certain objects. Perhaps if I could find some way to transfer this and capture Murkmire stone to it, we could examine it further and find out what further secrets it has to hold about the societies and areas that it came from. I never got to do a shavings analysis. Perhaps we could drill into this. And she begins walking around her apartment and grabbing different things, talking about the scientific research she can do with this.
Is there like a pile of books on the table beside us?
Yeah.
Cool. I'm gonna knock those over to get her out of her monologue by accident,
She does.
obviously.
I do apologize. It has been a minute since I cleaned.
Yeah. No, not that plan that I meant, and I don't necessarily like that plan. I meant, are you going to be staying here with that clearly stolen artifact from the museum that got broken into tonight? And two, why don't you just try burying it somewhere, like the spine of the world? I hear that they have a lot of good places to hide it, given that it's literally a big fucking dragon skeleton.
I've been to those mountains. I know the perfect abandoned valley.
Perfect,
But
you can hide it there.
What about my research, my career? Surely they will believe me now. Look at the big crack down the center of it.
Then you can do it out there away from everyone else. I feel like that is a safe plan. But, following
Away
back
from
to the first
Waterdeep?
portion, yes, you're holding on
This
to
is
a
my
very,
home.
you're holding on to a very expensive item that was just stolen from a recently partially destroyed museum held by one of the more powerful families in the city. I feel like staying here would be a death trap.
Yeah, I mean, definitely nothing stopping you from doing your research somewhere else where you're not a wanted criminal. You can come back and be a big hero and show everyone your findings.
After, they kind of forgot about the whole destroyed museum thing.
Well,
And-
after they've at least had time to calm down about it.
Yeah. And I'm not totally saying this because if you get caught and you rat us out, I might have to do something about that.
Even before you make your threat, she sees.
Oh,
the
I'm not
logic.
making a threat. That is more of a statement.
Before you deliver your blunt statement, she sees the logic of it, and that slowly starts hitting her. And she starts realizing, like, all the things she's going to have to do, and the danger that she's in, and how quickly she needs to get out of the city. And she starts looking around and going, oh, this is so much to do so quick. I have to be out before the sun is up. Oh, heavens.
You didn't put any thought into this, did you, except for get the stone?
And you hear the sound of spurs clicking across the wooden floor behind you. All of you turn around and you see a familiar figure in fine clothes and a 10-gallon hat that have all been worn down and filled with holes with age. You see Galannis. Benny, real quick, this man in the 10-gallon hat, his name is Galannis. He works for an organization called the Golden Keys, and he is trying to recruit y'all into the Golden Keys. This museum job was kind of a test, a tryout. He's implied that he has a much bigger job planned throughout Waterdeep. And he says, now there, Dr. Daniels. One of the things we do at the Golden Keys is make sure all of our clients get out safe. So don't you worry about that. I have the perfect way for you to get out of this city. But I do need you to be packed within the next 10 minutes. So go ahead and get on that for me, okay? And Dr. Downs goes, oh heavens above. And she starts running around her apartment, grabbing the most important things to her, which are various books. While she's doing that, Galannis says to all of y'all, now, well, everybody, how do you feel about what you did? The mission is successful. What is your opinion of it?
Feel like we're a light short.
Yeah, one man short, dead security guard. All the alarms went off. City Watch called. I know multiple people saw someone's face. I gotta be honest, crew, I don't think this is such a great job. Maybe y'all aren't such a good fit for that bigger job I got planned.
You literally asked us to infiltrate and break into one of the more heavily guarded areas in less than 48 hours notice.
Yeah,
I feel like it wasn't too bad.
Destry, that's the thing. This ain't heavily guarded. This was a cakewalk compared to the challenges that we would face going to get
this same thing. And you see him hesitate and he's trying to pick his words carefully. He doesn't say what he's trying to say. He talks around it. Going to get this thing that Xanathar and the Castlankers and the Doom Raiders are going for. We're going to go up against a lot worse than this. If this was too much for you, and he looks at all of you and that charm he had is gone. He looks disappointed and he looks concerned. He really needed this to work out and it's not working out. What do y'all say?
Well, I suppose there were a few wrinkles that need to be ironed out here and there, but ultimately the job got completed, and we don't have any guards right here, right now, banging on the door. So plenty of wiggle room for growth.
This was a test to see how well you do on your own. He says, I need a day to think about it. And he turns around and he starts rubbing his neck. He looks really nervous and he says, I can't do this on my own. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough time for this. And then Dr. Daniels comes over to him and she has 3 briefcases that she's holding in her hands. And she says, I have everything that I need, sir. And that charm immediately returns. And he says, well, Dr. Daniels, let's see about getting you on out of this city. And I bet that I can do it without having to go in any sewers. But we might have to go into sewers. So did you bring even one pair of clothes with you? And she says, no. And she shakes her head and she says, all right, I'll help you get some clothes. And they walk off together. And he says, oh, by the way, boys, a deal's a deal. And he throws 3 sacks at you. And he throws them from one hand, but one goes to Huel, one goes to Blinken, one goes to Destry, each perfectly. And he says, and I'll tell you what too, newbie, for showing up. And he tosses you 1, 2, Benny. What's your character's name again? Chazal, perhaps?
Chazafrad.
He says, and I will hold on to Inshi's share until he comes back. You all should get a move on getting to him. And never, ever go in on another heist alone. Always have backup. You never know what could sneak up.
Is she gone?
She is in the other room grabbing a set of clothes. They actually do that pretty quickly, and then they walk out the door. Galanis comes back, and he puts on a pair of gloves that have these runes carved in them, and he just picks up that big table and walks out of the room with it. And Galanis says, I'll meet you at the Yawning Portal later.
Sounds good.
And him and Dr. Daniels start walking away. The 4 of you are in this room. Each of you has a golden sack, or a sack of 50 golden dragons. Waterdeep's version of a gold coin. It has carved onto it a shiny, elegant face of a roaring golden dragon. Each of you also levels up, as you will do after each successful heist.
So we got 50 gold each?
50 gold each. Deal's a deal.
Well, on a side note, I think it would be rude of us to leave any perishable goods in the pantry. We don't want the good doctor to come back to rotten food in the pantry. So, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to begin rummaging through the cabinets.
She definitely used to shop at the fantasy equivalent of Whole Foods. So there's some good stuff here, but it'll perish in like 2 days, so you gotta eat it quick.
And I'm going to open up the briefcase of holding, and whatever's not nailed down, I'm just going to start scooping it into it.
You notice she has a few figurines around that are probably worth a few gold coins each. I'll say that there are 3 of them worth 2 gold coins each. These are figures of like ancient gods or various wizards that were very intelligent. You recognize 2 of them. Then you get a bushel of fresh picked grapes. Or not a bushel. You get a whole like vine of like fresh picked purple grapes that have seeds in them.
Oh, she left these nice looking books here just into the briefcase. There you go.
I will let you pick 3 books on a subject, but you have to tell me a subject. Or any 3 books, but you have to give me 3 subjects.
Creation of Waterdeep.
Okay.
I'm looking for a blueprint of Waterdeep. She worked in a museum. I'm sure there's something similar.
I'll tell you what, as you are looking around for this, well, didn't you grab the statues? Let somebody else grab something first.
I grabbed statues.
Yeah. Blinken, would you like to grab anything from Dr. Dance's abandoned apartment? Okay, you grab an apple that's sitting on a table, and you're watching Huel stuff some books into the briefcase of holding. You notice that a card falls out one of these books, and it's a thick card. It's like carved out of, or you notice a A slim tablet falls out of one of these books onto the shelf. It is a slim granite tablet, and on it has been etched the words El Torchel Library. You would recognize this as a kind of a magical library card that shows you are a dues-paying member of this library. I remember you were trying to look at dragon stuff in the library earlier. Huel, would you like to grab anything?
Then I can just grab like within reach or.
Yeah, anything that would be in a professor's apartment. It's kind of up for grabs right now. I'm kind of going to call it after one round of snatching, though, because I don't want to just load y'all up with every item you could ever want.
Yeah, I'll just start grabbing whenever I can.
Trying to think of what would look interesting to you here.
I have a question.
What's up?
Is there a lease to this apartment sitting around somewhere?
You start digging around in her personals with Huel's help. Huel, you see that she also has a bank card or a parchment that has her banking details on it. Maybe you could use this to like open up your own bank account here or start using her bank account here. Destry, as you're moving through it, you find records that show weekly payment on this apartment to the Sage's Quill, but you see that those payments are made by El Torchel Villa, not Dr. Daniels herself.
Damn. Because I was thinking if this house was paid off for the next little while, we could just have a free place to stay for.
I mean, wasn't you recently laid off after making a big stink about the place? Wouldn't she be a pretty...
Yeah, she tried to rob the place, like, just recently.
So she already tried... Yeah, they're gonna come back and investigate her. This place is freaking hotter than the fires of hell. Speaking of hot, this is freaking thirsty work. I'm gonna continue searching through the pantry to see if there's any bottles of booze.
Okay, I'm gonna call it after this.
Yeah, fair enough.
It can't just be free reign on her apartment.
We want all her
Fine,
food and
I'm
drink.
gonna be somewhat mild. I'm just gonna steal one bottle to split between us.
Shazafrad, you're holding like you look like hedonism bot right now. You have like a vine of grapes. You have like various fruits in one hand. You like have like a big like peach with your index finger and your thumb, and you're trying to grab a bottle of wine with your hand. You see like good old reliable cheap, not cheap wine, but like decent wine. That would be a good night. It would get your belly roaring. But then you also see a bottle of very expensive wine. You know it's not that good, but the name on it is an old Waterdeep noble name. You know that you could sell that bottle of wine for a few gold coins. Which one are you going to grab? The one you would drink or the one you would sell?
Oh, the hardships. I'm gonna just sort of agonize over it for a second.
But you're in a telltale game. Make a choice.
Oh hell yeah!
Quick, we gotta leave before the guards show up.
You know
Yeah,
what?
fuck it.
I'm gonna
I'll
go
put a
for
timer on it.
delayed pleasure. I'm gonna take the more pricey bottle.
Well, I mean,
Alright,
by using the money you acquire, you can buy more pleasure.
Exactly.
You know you could sell this particular 50-year-old bottle of wine for 5 gold pieces.
Oh, well, absolutely delectable.
All right.
Sometimes the tease is better than the release.
Blinken, you got a library card. Destry, you got the founding of Waterdeep and a blueprint of Waterdeep. Chaz, you got the wine worth 5 gold pieces and a bunch of grapes. Fuel, you got bank account information. That sound good to everybody? Okay. Y'all step out of her apartment. You go downstairs and out of the Sage's Quill. You are back on the streets of Waterdeep, and you know, or your thoughts now, turn to your friend, Inshi. Inshi, we go back to you in the dock ward. This boat is rocking gently back and forth. The last thing Alda Allen did was try to get you to say why you did this, why you risked any of this, and you didn't say anything. She's been drinking, you've been sitting here, and that guard, Skylus, runs back. And he says, Alda, my love, I wasn't able to talk to Captain Zarzod, but I found one of his drow lieutenants, and I sent him your message. They said they will be on their way with the boat, and they said that the terms of your deal still stand. Whatever you did, lover, I am grateful for it. And they embrace and they kiss again. And Miriam puts her hands like on his face and she starts touching his neck. And as they push away from each other, she keeps her fingers on his neck, those long nails that she had earlier, right next to his Adam's apple. And she says, Skylus, thank you for everything you've done. But that deal was only for one person. And she shoves her nails right into his throat. And he goes, and he falls over and he's bleeding out on the boat. Inshi, you see this happen, and you also see Destri's raven flying in circles around the boat. What do you do?
I should be worried about this shit, but I'm glad you're not kissing anymore. That was gross. Please, I'm innocent. Let me go. And she's still wriggling, trying to get out of this restraint.
Okay. Roll a strength check.
Jesus fuck. And she's not that strong. He's not.
No, you have a +0, but every time you've made a strength check, it's worked almost. All right, so you break through these bonds, and what do you do when you realize that you've managed to actually break the rope a little bit?
Is it just out of Ark? Is it just out of Arkin in this room?
It's Alda Arkin, the dead body of Skyless, the security guard, and the doll, Marigold.
Is there a door around me?
Yes, you're in like the small cabin of like a fishing boat. Like imagine like an old Japanese fishing boat. It looks like a canoe with one little like sheltered part in the center. So that's what you're in. There's no actual like door on it. There's just a door frame.
Okay.
He's sitting on the bench on one side. You're sitting on the bench on the other side. Marigold is sitting on the floor between you.
As soon as Inshi breaks his restraints, he wants to use his final level 2 spell slot to do invisibility and bolt out that door.
Okay, you don't even have to roll for that, do you?
I guess not.
All right, you cast invisibility.
Gotcha. So Inshi turns invisible, but right now he's just bolting out. He's just trying to get distance between them right now.
Turn and bolt. I can't think of any check I would have to make you make to run past them really quick, because you can move and cast a spell on the same turn. So you bolt out of the fishing boat. You land on the docks. The dock ward docks, you get what you pay for. So these bits of wood actually bend underneath you slightly. They are wet. They are low to the water. They get slashed all the time. Nobody repairs them. Some of them are probably rotting away. But you step onto the docks and you just run. What's your movement speed?
Movement speed is 30.
All right. Is Marigold's character sheet going to load? I guess not. I can't find the stats for a Scarecrow, but I assume its running speed would be 20. So you hear Alda Arkin say, as you push off the boat and make it rock, she says, Marigold, go get him. Bring him back here. And Marigold bolts out of the boat. She is dashing towards your location, Inshi, but she can't see you. She'd have to make a perception check to try to identify you in any way. But that's her turn. What do you want to do?
And she just keeps bolting for shore, whether that's a dock, whether that's straight on the mainland, whatever he can. He's just trying to get far inland as he can right now.
So you see where you are on the map, right?
Yes.
So you're running along on this dock. At your next turn, or I guess you could dash this turn, you'd be on the street. You are on Dock Street in the Dock Ward. You are not super familiar with this area of Waterdeep. You know that somewhere around here will be the big streets that run through Waterdeep, the Way of the Dragon, the Snail Street, and the High Road. So you would be running around trying to look for that. Marigold is going to roll a perception check to see if she can see you running away from the bending of the wood. She got a 15, so she continues running after you, but as soon as you step onto the street, she has no way to track you. And the doll just kind of runs back and forth at the edge of the docks, looking for where you are. Inshi, you have escaped Alda Arkin. What would you like to do? You're still here. You can turn around and see Marigold and Alda. You could watch them get revenge, run away, go back to your friends.
As soon as Inshi sees his pursuers hesitate, and she kind of slows down to sneakily keep on going, but he's just trying to find something familiar, and I think he kind of goes down Wharf Street just by instinct, trying to find something he finds familiar.
Okay. As you walk along the dock ward, you notice that this is not as nice as other areas of Waterdeep. There are no drift globes here that light the streets in this brilliant white light. And the lampposts and torch posts that are here, not all of them are lit. Some of them have been destroyed for who knows what reason. As you walk further and further into the dock district, it gets away from stalls and shops and butchers and places where they cut fish and places where people buy fresh imports. And it turns into warehouses and such. You notice as you make your way left that you are now on the Way of the Dragon. If you travel north, you know that you will eventually reach the Trades Ward, which is where the Yawning Portal is. That's the bar you've been staying at with your friends and Galanis. There is also a manhole cover.
Huh. I mean, as long as the invisibility spell lasts, and she's just going to make his way to the yawning portal on the street because he's had enough of water for a day, sewage or not. So he's just walking down the street, getting to the yawning portal.
All right, as you start walking along, you hear the sound of wings flapping above you, and eventually this crow, or this raven that you've been calling Little Inshi, lands on your shoulder, and it says, "Little Inshi, you are good, yes? Okay."
No, Inchi, I'm trying to get to Bonnie and maybe my friends. Are they at the yawning portal? Do you know?
He says, "I will reach out to my master and let them know that you have not died, little goblin." And he continues just kind of sitting on her shoulders, giggling every once in a while at the idea of standing on something that's very short but invisible. All right, everybody else, or Destry, you hear in your head, "Master Destry, the goblin is safe. He has made himself safe and has made his way to the yawning portal."
Well, that's good. All right, I'll bring him to the portal and we'll meet him there.
So y'all get back to the yawning portal. Let's say it is about 4:30. Huel, you saw, and I guess everybody saw, parked right underneath the street lamp was Huel's cart, exactly how it was before you blew it up. One axle on it broken, and a fresh paint job. You know it's there because the used card salesman put it back there after you shook his hand.
Like, yeah, he fixed it, but he left the wheel broken. I don't get it.
He said he would always bring it back in the condition it was when it was destroyed.
I mean, I did tell you not to make a deal with him.
Does Inchi arrive to the yawning portal before, after, or with the party?
I would say that, Inshi, you got here before. What did you want to do? Did you want to sit at a table, go to a room?
Is Bonnie at the counter?
No, it is not. But you know that her shift will be starting soon. Her shift starts when the sun rises.
I just kind of. Where's the nearest trash can?
It would be behind the bar.
All right, Inchi, just escaping death, does not care about breaking the rules. So just find the counter and just rummaging through the trash and find something to eat because he's hungry.
All right. As you're sitting there eating, everybody else starts coming through the door. It is Shazafrad, Blinken, Huel, and Destry all come through the door. You guys all see Inshi eating the remains of like an apple that's slightly brown all the way around at the counter. You're all together now. What do y'all do?
Lincoln will probably say something like, "Wow, you're okay. How the hell did you get out of that?"
Hey guys, I miss you. I got kidnapped and bitten. I got kicked too. But I escaped. I was on this boat, but whatever. I got back and I'm hungry and I need some gold. Where's that Galani guy? Galani? See? I'm awaiting my payment, and so is my gooners. They need release from their work.
Well, speaking of the gooners, the I don't know what your sad one is. He ran away. I'm pretty sure the other ones are dead because we kind of killed them because they wanted more and things escalated and. I point at.
They tried to steal my pants.
And I point at him.
For us.
Yeah, and yeah, I point at Huel. He's like, yeah, he kind of stomped someone a couple times too. So I'm pretty sure they're dead.
They quite literally tried to steal my pants.
If they tried to steal your, I would kill someone if they stole my pants. So.
As Inchi motions to like his pants when he's like, "Somebody tried to steal my pants," y'all notice they are covered in blood, as is like the ratty shirt that he has on.
You doing all right there?
I'm also gonna change something. I'm gonna say Galanis gave y'all Inchi's 50 gold for y'all to give to him. So Inchi, you can have that.
Anyway, I just want my gold. Maybe some little fish eggs from Bonnie whenever she gets here. When did she get here? Hey, Barkeep. When does Bonnie get here?
There's no one here right now.
He's just talking to no one.
I slammed the counter. Barkeep.
I'll slam the counter with him with the gold bag, and there you go. Here's your share.
Before Galanis comes back, I would like y'all to talk about him.
Okay.
What do y'all want to do about him? What he said the last time y'all met with him? He's been kind of weird this whole time. Y'all don't know if you can trust him. You got paid by him, and now your brain's not thinking about the money. Your brain's thinking about other things. All those weird things he says, like, I have to get back, or I don't have much time, or I've overstayed my welcome on this plane, or just the way that he says things to you that you can't remember.
Oh,
Clearly, he has a lot of gold lying around. Clearly, he has something going on. The way he was able to pick up that massive table with the amberized Merkmeyer stone, the way he walks without making a sound, and just the memory thing, it all kind of bothers you. It all creeps up on you in this moment.
I've already come to the conclusion. He's obviously a djinn of some kind.
Real quick, Vinny, this man named Galanis, he's weird, he's mysterious, he's distant, he's very charming, but he clearly always has ulterior motives or some kind of other plan going on. He's mentioned a few times that he has a really big plan. It's clearly a big deal, but you have really no idea where he comes from or what he's about. He invited everybody here by telling them what this big heist was. He told them. He used words, he spoke it out to them, but none of them can remember what he said.
Where did he come from and where did he go? Could his name be
Where did he-
Cotton Eye Joe?
I'll just slap you in the
just
face.
said- Yeah, you just said he was a djinn, Destry?
Yeah, I'm coming to the conclusion he's some kind of djinn. He's an outer being from outside of our realm. And the reason why he has so much money and powers is because, well, they don't age the same way we do. So he could have been around for a lot fucking longer. And the picking up the table, gauntlets of hill giant, storm giant, fire giant strength, because you said he put something on. And as for the memory, all of them have very high intelligence scores. Therefore, he would have a good memory. And the boot, like the walking around quietly thing, obviously boots of elven kind. We all know this.
I mean, it sounds like he could just be a wizard.
He could also just be a wizard.
You know that the memory effect that he has on you seems to be attached to this blue stone. He was holding it in his hand when he told you all the details of the heist that he was planning, and he was touching you at the same time. So one hand was holding the blue stone.
Oh, you mean
another
our
hand was
memory?
touching
Okay.
you. Yeah, and he affected your memory. You can't remember what he said. It just
Oh,
all
okay.
goes real foggy.
Oh, I thought you
but
meant
you-
like his memory.
No, not his memory. He's affecting your memory somehow with this blue stone that he keeps in a pouch around his neck.
So what are we going to do about Galantis? Are we going to trust him? Are we going to keep working for him? We're going to like shank
Did
him
this
the next
gold
time
come
we
from
see
him? Did this gold come from him?
Yes.
Then yeah, I want me some
Okay.
gold.
He says
Yeah, you're gonna shank him?
no. He wants to work for him. I'm assuming.
Okay. As y'all are all sitting around talking about this, you hear the door open and you hear the sound of spurs marching against the wooden floor. And you hear another set of footsteps with it. And into the bar area comes Thelanis. And he also has Bonnie. It's around 5 a.m. The sun is rising. And he walks in with her and he says, "Well, Bonnie, it's been a full night for me. I think I'm going to skip breakfast and perhaps sleep through the day. But you get my companions here whatever they would like before they head up to the room for the morning. Okay?" And Bonnie goes, yes, sir. And she nods at you, Inshi, and she says, "Good morning, Inshi."
Bonnie, I missed you. I want some fish eggs, please.
Fish eggs. Okay. All right. Let me see what we have in the back, and I'll see if I can fire up the stove before Davis gets here. All right. So she walks into the back, to the kitchen. Galanis motions over to this table that he's standing at. It's his preferred table. It's in front of the giant, yawning troll face fireplace that's right here. He sits with his back to it, and he pulls a flask and he starts drinking from it. And he says, "Well, crew, I know that I put a lot on you very quickly, but I do think the gold reward was worth it. But when it comes to us working together in the future, I've been thinking about it a lot, and I think I'm going to have to call it right here. I'm afraid y'all just don't have what the golden vault or the golden keys are looking for."
And she doesn't care, and he's counting his gold on the table.
He is saying that he's not going to give you more gold in the future.
I'll throw in and say something like, "Look, given the time that we have planning, things were out of proportion, I'll admit, but overall was done. Gave her the item, and we were on our merry way. I guess backlash that happened was I pointed at the goblin, Inshi was nowhere to be found, and he apparently is fine now. Except I pointed at the blood stain all over him. Probably
And she
got hit.
looks up and waves.
And she just waves.
Inshi, it is good that you found your way back here. I was worried about you, but I had to take care of the doctor. Now, see here, crew, I want y'all to understand something. I'm not mad at y'all. I may have sounded like that earlier, but I'm frustrated with myself. I tried to set up something here very quickly. I thought I could make my old crew again in one evening. And that's not really how that works. I need to take a step back from this. I need to go back to the drawing board. I'm trying to move too fast. So I say we spend one more night here. Y'all can eat, drink, and sleep on my tab. And then I'm going to be on my way. And we'll all forget we ever met each other. Okay?
So what? I didn't sell you out for nothing? I got kicked for you, damn it. Thank you for the gold, though.
So here's my thought. How about one more job? Something we can actually sit down and plan out in more than, say, a day and a half.
I mean, I endured torture, so I didn't rat you out, Mr. G. I'm just saying, I think I earned a little bit of, yeah, I can do this.
But besides the point, look, we did the deed. I think, honestly, my opinion, I think we could pull it off. It's just we needed more options on plans, or like more timing on plans. That was a bit rushed, I get it. But like with the given items, yes, you would. I think we did a good job on that aspect. And I like look at fucking Huel and be like, I'm sorry about the cart thing, but again, drastic things, sacrifice everything, you know.
You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes in our line of work, you know?
Galanus says, I know that y'all got the drive, and it's something that if I had more time, I could shape into something. I know it. I can see it in all of your eyes. But what I'm talking about is so dangerous, so damning, so bigger than all of us. We'd have to stop these terrible people from getting all this gold and doing absolutely wicked things with it. And the things that they will do to stop us. If they see our faces, if anything bad were to happen to any of y'all, I blame myself. And I just can't go through that again. I got to figure out what to do with the chips I actually have in my hand. But I'll think about it, okay? But I got to get out of this city. I got to get out of it quickly. And maybe I'll be back and maybe I won't be. And y'all are just going to have to live with that. And he takes another swig from his flask and he slams it down on the table, with the implication being that y'all can share it if you want to. And he turns around and he starts walking up towards the room. And as he does, he grabs his chest and he starts moving around this little pouch that he has there. And he breathes in deeply as if he's remembering something. And then he breathes out. And he looks at all of you with real concern in his eyes. And he says, it's just too dangerous. And he begins walking upstairs. Y'all are sitting around this table with the flask and your gold coins. What do you want to do?
I was counting my gold. Did I get all 50 coins?
You got all 50 coins. And the thing is, they're all shiny and new. They haven't been worn down, like, at all. They look freshly minted. All the details on the dragon are still there.
Well, seeing that I have all 50, and she just says, all right, whatever, Mr. G. Thank you for the gold. Good night, whatever. So, how did the heist go for you guys?
And then, like, after when he asked that, I'm like looking at the flask. You know what? I'm just gonna take a swig of it.
It is fire wine whiskey. It burns your throat and it warms your belly.
Oh, that's some good stuff.
So it sounds like Galanus is only going to be in town for maybe half a day as he gets packed up and ready to go. Y'all can do something about that, or you can let him be.
I mean, I was kind of brought on for easy money. Destry, you promised easy money. Quick heist, in and out, boatloads of money. And all I'm hearing is about how horribly dangerous everything's getting.
I said money. You assumed quick and easy. You said...
No, I've got a parchment right here that says, join me. Easiest money you'll ever make. Trust me, bro.
Trust me, bro.
And is signed with a crow's footprint.
Yeah, when have you ever known me to use a crow's footprint? Wait, let me see that. You son of a bitch!
Oh yeah, I guess your crow's in the room too. Ain't I a stinker, boss?
Well, my point stands. What is the plan?
Y'all know that Galanus did tell you what this big job was. You just can't remember it because of that blue stone.
My biggest thing. A, yeah, we can't remember what he said because of Sedstone.
Yeah.
And 2, someone mentioned my uncle needs me, which is not necessarily a good thing.
Did Mr. Galanasi have a room for us again? Is that paid up for?
The same room. It is paid up for.
Okay, I am going to take me a little nap because I think I saw my intestines earlier and I need to heal. But I need to leave in the morning. I will be back if you guys have a job that pays more gold. I call me. I will be back here soon. But right now, I need a nap and I will be gone in the morning.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, if you need healing, I can do that for you right here.
Well, yeah, but a nap would be nice. And those fish eggs. Where's Bonnie?
Bonnie actually comes back and she brings out a serving of fish eggs that she's divided up into 5 or 6 pieces. And when she notices Galanus isn't there anymore, and she dumps his portion on your plate and she serves it all to y'all. Y'all can eat this. You can order something to drink like coffee, or you can start going up to the room. As you start to decide that, though, you hear a coming from above you.
Sorry, what was that knocking and coughing?
sounded like someone dying.
Bonnie looks up, a little bit scared of the noise.
I probably want to go upstairs and see what that is.
With a mouthful of egg and fish, I look up at Bonnie, said, "What more? Are you scared?"
Nothing is crazy enough to attack Durnan's bar. Anything going wrong in here is a bad sign.
Well, these are some good fish eggs. I will protect you, Bonnie, and I'll go check it out, and I'll be back soon. Okay, sweetheart? And I hop down, shovel another fistful of food in my mouth, and I follow the others upstairs, I guess.
All right, y'all all start walking up the stairs, and you come to the room that you know as yours. When y'all come to the hallway outside of the room, you hear a dull thud on the floor. You see that there is a candle lit in the room, so there is light shining from under the door. What do y'all do?
Party and be like, you all want to your weapons? I'll open the door just in case something, jumps out at us.
Blinken, how tall is Blinken?
I'm a gnome. I'm about your height, pretty much.
Yeah, we got a gnome, goblin, and a halfling, and a human and an elf.
And you
Well, then I guess as Blinken says this, I cast Disguise Self on myself to look just like Blinken. I open the door and say, "What's going on here?"
Inshi, you open the door, and the first thing you notice is papers strewn all over the floor. You have no idea where these papers came from. They are marked in a handwriting in a language you can't understand. Some of them appear to be diagrams. Some of them have words you recognize like Xanathar on them. The next thing you notice, and everybody notices as Inshi opens the door wider, is blood all over the floor. Galanus laying down, perfectly motionless by this table. You see nothing else in the room. All right.
Well, it looks like,
I just kick him.
All right, Inshi, you walk up to him and you kick him, and he does not respond. He appears to be dead. He is laying completely motionless. He is not breathing. As you kick him, his head rolls over and his 10-gallon hat falls off. And you can see his eyes are wide, frozen in the last expression he had, one of terror, a grimace of pain, blood coming out of his mouth.
good. Like clack goes the Eldritch Blap.
The intro music is Ain't No Rest for the Wicked by Connie Jash, and the video is Waterdeep Dragon Heist by Smite or Flight. This episode also featured a piano cover of This World from Westworld, performed by Dominique Carpentier.